if we realize that, that's not really on offer with our partners, and this is the way it is, we can ask ourselves, can I accept this? Is this a deal breaker? Is this a non-negotiable? Can I accept this person as they are? Can I accept them, and also can I love them as this is? If this person never changes and is always like this in this regard, can I still love this person? Can I, you know, move on and do that? And if not, then I have to really think about letting go. And, obviously we all have different challenges, because some people can stay too long and some people can bail too quickly. But, that's our work. We've all got different work to do. But I think asking ourselves those questions really challenges us to put the effort in and to grow. But it also reminds us that we have an obligation to ourselves to be able to let go of things that aren't right for us, that are going to cause us too much pain.
And is that why a lot of people like would cheat because they can't they their identity is built up into this relationship. They've maybe put a lot of years in, they've got kids, etc.
Mm.
So it's actually easier to find an emotional something to fill that emotional void outside the relationship, but maintain it to keep on that sense of self of being in a relationship, being married, etc.
Mm.
Do you see a justification for why most people cheat? I know it's difficult for, like, a lot of people would say, well, they did this and I did that, or I was working late with this person. But as a
Mm.
therapist, do you see the emotional reason? Do you see the behavioral reasons behind why a lot
Mm.
of people cheat?
Yeah, cheating has, I think, like all behavior, has a lot of emotions behind it and a lot of reasoning behind it. I think absolutely people in committed relationships want to be in committed relationships, and the thought of leaving or disrupting a family unit, for example, can feel overwhelming. And I remember actually
Right.
going on some famous website that I can't remember now, but it's one of these affair websites, where you can go and you can,
Oh, was that the Ashley
everyone
Madison
joins.
one?
Yes, I think it was that one. Like
Right.
millions of subscribers, or whatever you call it. And their strapline is "Life is short, have the affair." And the sort of testimonials at the bottom, interestingly, all women, say things like, this has saved my marriage. It's great that I've done this because my needs are now met and I can go back to my family fulfilled and happy and not angry and resentful. And, it's very interesting. It was fascinating for me to watch this kind of way of coping. So that is one way, as you say. There's sort of something that our identity is as a married person or a committed person and member of a family or whatever. But equally, again, this comes back to what we want from life. We want a lot from life, and it's difficult to be in unfulfilling relationships, sexually or otherwise. So there's that. But cheating can also be a way of trying to get out of a relationship, of sort of ejecting yourself from a relationship. And when the infidelity, becomes known, often that person is left. And so it's a way of ending a relationship when we don't know how to end it.
Okay, well,
And
without,
it's also a way of, sorry.
I was going to say, so it's like their way of getting you to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Yeah.
Absolutely, because we're forcing the other person's hand